I do my hair, yank, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? Dragged by Danielle. I just can't help myself. It's Bravo, bitch.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Yes, it's the year 2020. Isn't that weird? Welcome to my favorite day of the week. Welcome to It's Bravo, Betch. It's my show with me, Hollywood Leon. In the studio today, a little Bravo royalty, Bravo family, brother of Monique Samuels, Keven Cox.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming in. It's going to be a really good show. Make sure to keep in the live chat and make sure to stay tuned till the end. We have a fabulous news and gossip section for you guys. We're going to be talking about a lot of things tonight. Some New Jersey, some Atlanta, some Vanderpump Rules. We're going to skim below deck. Welcome to the show, Keven. Let's dive in.
Get into it.
I have a little segment that I like to call the Gold Stars, and it's just basically just kind of like Wendy's Hot Topics. How you doing? Just a rundown, a breakdown of what's happening. And I want to say Happy New Year to all my fans, and Happy New Year to all the Bravo family, and Happy New Year from Dorinda. We should all just be aspiring to be as drunk as Dorinda on New Year's Eve. I have a photo for you guys.
Wow.
Amazing. Happy New Year, Andy. If you're just listening to us, it's a screenshot of Dorinda commenting on Andy's Instagram post. But you could tell she had a couple martinis, dirty ones, I hope, because it says, amazing Happy New Year, Andy.
I mean, as far as like drunk texts and drunk comments go, like that one's a really good one.
It is a good one. It's very Dorinda.
A really good one.
Thank you, Dorinda, for that amazing thing. Let's move on to... Basically, Erika Jayne is now on the cover of Playbill for the cast of Chicago because she has joined the cast of Chicago, which is amazing. We're all very, very happy for her. Have you ever seen Chicago?
I love Chicago. And honestly, I was a little bit surprised when I saw who she was cast as for Roxy Hart. I definitely see Erika Jayne as more of a Velma. She's got like that sexy, edgy, a little bit dangerous.
Absolutely.
So I'd be curious to see what she's like as kind of the little wide-eyed, innocent girl.
Exactly. You're totally right about that. I feel like it's really interesting because it's really easy for celebrities to come in and play Roxy Hart. It's all the most popular songs and everything, but Velma has more character depth.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with that. That's really interesting. I love
think
that.
Erika has like the stage presence. She could have done it, but either way, I'd probably pay money to see it.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see her play that innocent girl because, yeah, Roxy Hart is, that mechanic's wife that turns into a star. We all know the lyrics, so good for her. We're still going to be talking about Beverly Hills because you know what happened?
Oh, my God.
A Ferrari ran into Pump Restaurant, LVP's restaurant Pump on Santa Monica Boulevard in West Hollywood. A Ferrari ran into the property during Sunday brunch. Thank God no one was hurt.
Like, picture this. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 2 p.m. You're on your fourth pumptini, just like loving life.
Oh, so I am
and then
drunk
boom,
then.
Car. Like,
have you ever had one of those pumptinis?
I haven't.
Oh my God.
I haven't, but
you
they're
are
dangerous.
drunk off one. They're very strong.
Maybe the guy who crashed the car already had a couple. And that's how that happened.
We have a picture of the alleged suspect. Oh my God, I cannot talk today. We have a picture of the alleged suspect,
Really?
and I think it's Kyle Richards. Zoom in. I love this. Somebody photoshopped Kyle into the photo. How amazing is this? Thank you, the Bravo boy, for giving us this treasure. Kyle Richards, goodbye, Kyle. She said goodbye to Ken and then ran into Pump. Speaking of Ken Todd, there was a recording that was surfaced. I don't have it. It's all over Twitter. You can find it yourself. But there's a recording of Ken Todd saying, we have to get as much publicity out of this as possible. And then it cuts off. So it was really interesting because Twitter was going crazy, obviously. They were like, of course he would capitalize this. And people were like, of course he is. It's a business. And someone ran a car into it.
Honestly, we'll probably see it on like the finale of Vanderpump Rules.
So someone also, then posted like, no, he released a statement saying that wasn't the full clip, like saying that his sentence was saying we have to get as much publicity out of this because no one was hurt.
Right. Because that makes a big difference.
That makes sense.
It's like, oh, I totally get it now. Totally get it. That's all he meant. No harm.
Exactly. So I want to move on to Real Housewives of Orange County. Do we have the picture of Vicky? I think it was maybe the second photo. The picture of Vicky. Oh, I don't know if I have it. I don't know if I put it in there. Okay, so Vicky ended the reunion season 3 by going on a homophobic rant against Bronwyn, who has kind of been like kissing Tamara and has basically admitted that, you know, she likes women. She just is attracted to her husband. I don't know what that makes her these days. Bisexual, pansexual, whatever.
I don't think anybody really wants to be put in a slot these days. So
yeah.
She's just living her life and married to her husband.
I like that.
And
just
kissing girls on the side.
I'm trisexual. I'll just try everything. So good for her, but not good for Vicky Gunvalson. It was not a good look for her. We have not really been enjoying Vicky Gunvalson here at this studio just because we're kind of over all the antics. We know she's the queen of the OG, whatever. Part 3 of the reunion really proved to me that it is just time for that woman to go. How can you sit there in front of your boss, who is gay, and in front of millions of people, people that support you, LGBTQ people who support
Speak
you,
on it.
and just go on that homophobic tyrant rant? It was just really disgusting. And your little video on the way to vacation that you did on Instagram wasn't enough for me.
And then she kept mentioning oh, it's not that bad, but I just think it's inappropriate. I'm not sure what show she thinks she's on, but a little girl on girl is the least inappropriate thing that can happen on any of these Bravo shows.
How many times has she flashed her boobs?
And I would probably take a wild guess in the dark that she's probably drunkenly made out with at least one castmate at some point in time.
Well, she hasn't never had multiple partners. Let's move on to Below Deck. Oh my God. So you're watching Below Deck, right?
Yes.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh. It's just each season there's just more and it's more. It's one of those Bravo shows that still has that newness to it.
Yeah.
And that
it's a new
freshness.
cast every season except for the main OGs.
Yeah. I mean, and honestly, do we really need that many people to return every year? So it works out perfectly for everyone.
Yeah. Speaking of being conned, Ashton was in the studio and I feel like he totally conned me.
Oh, part of his apology tour?
He was in here and he alluded to the fact that he was going to have a lot of things to apologize for, but we weren't there yet. We weren't there in the season. So I totally kind of stuck up for him and I was like, you're not a misogynist. You're fine. Oh, well.
And then we got hit with the footage.
Because what he was saying is oh, people think I'm misogynistic because I helped Courtney into the little tuk-tuk, which is a cab ride in Thailand, which is driven by a little crazy man.
Yeah.
So he helped her and he put his hand on her back.
And he thought that was the worst thing that he did all season?
So he's people are calling me misogynist and, it's just crazy. And I love women. How can I be misogynist? I love women.
I mean, honestly, this whole season of Below Deck could be a case study in gender relations. You've just got the boys club and then Ashton assaulted Kate's mouth twice.
Totally
and then
unwarranted,
had
unwanted.
A full-on tantrum whenever she turns him down. It is just something crazy to watch play out. And if you're really not catching on to what's going on, then you're just too blind to it. Because it's all happening right there.
Well, he alluded to the fact that he was going to have a lot of things to apologize for. And like Kevin said, we're just now seeing it. He forced himself on Kate, not once, but twice.
Nice.
The first time we're going to give you a pass for it. We've all been in that situation before where a friend or someone that we know really well.
Shake it off, apologize, realize that
Too
what
many
you
drinks,
did was
it's
really
fine.
messed up. And then, keep your distance and be appropriate after that. But
we'll pretend it didn't happen. But then again. And then the second time, it was a 69's upside down Spider-Man kiss. Ugh. Totally gross.
So much cringe.
And then he tried to punch the window out while they were driving. Totally crazy, psycho straight man.
He is having an all-star season in all of the wrong ways. As soon as he said, I wish I didn't have to work so hard to get my dick sucked.
Yeah.
That definitely set a tone for where the rest of the season was going to go, and it has not let up at all.
We should punish him and not suck his dick for a really long time. You know, and then it's really easy to go after Riley. I feel like, you know, Riley is the easy one to go after. He's the one she's the one that he's having problems with. So he's like, no, I want to get rid of her. And I'm like, no, you actually have a lot more problems that you need to deal with. Ones
she
that
is
you're
the
causing.
perfect person for him to have to work with.
Absolutely.
Like until he like holds up that mirror to himself, he's going to keep thinking that she's the problem.
And it's his first time managing too.
They're both the problem, but like a lot of it starts with him because he is the one who's in charge.
Riley's not a saint, but Kate put it really well. She works really, really hard.
Yes.
And she just needs to learn how to take direction.
Yes. And Ashton can't give direction.
At all.
And he definitely can't handle a woman standing up to him.
Absolutely. The finger pointing and the standing up. He just is so used to like implying that kind of straight machoism.
Oh, that reminds me. I saw something online that just felt very, very relevant. So I had to like make sure I kept it in mind. It said misogyny rewards women who reinforce the status quo. So at the beginning of the season, we had Abby, who wasn't that great at her job, but she was deemed likable and, you know, easy to get along with. And then it finishes by saying, and punishes those who don't. So then enters Riley, who is good at her job, but she doesn't back down. And if she feels like she's being diminished or dismissed, like she will not shy away from letting you know.
And all the guys are like this. I mean, it's not just Ashton. Like Brian is just as bad too. And we're just seeing it as well because you can't tell a woman to calm down. Have you not learned anything from being a man on this earth for like over 30 years? You don't tell a woman to calm down. It's just like a recipe for them to start screaming. Like he told Riley, like, calm down. So she's like, I am calm.
That is like, before trigger words were a thing, like that was a trigger word.
And you can't call a woman crazy.
No.
Like on Vanderpump Rules that we are going to get to. You called Sheena boy crazy. She is boy crazy though. But here's the thing about Brian. Like I was totally up for him and, you know, he's in my DMs. He's a nice guy. But then I see that he's sending Courtney a little text saying, oh, we're just keeping it casual, keeping it friends. Like, what are you pulling a Tanner card?
I pray that was like a fake out. Like, you know how sometimes they try to catch us in those clips? I pray that because she took her time easing up to him.
Thank you.
Like really took her time. And then now he's like walking by giving her kisses on his way to the deck.
Thank you.
And then if you're going to flip it and say like, oh, we're just being friends and we're just having fun. Really?
That's so rude. We've been sleeping in the same bed together, okay? Like it's different. Oh man.
Men are trash.
He's such a F-boy. And they are trash. Like all of them are trash. I mean, Tanner, do we even really have to get into him? Like I've been saying it from the beginning.
And then Keven, he just really upsets me that I have to like share his name. I was really excited. Like, oh, there's a Keven on the boat. Already my favorite person. And now he's just like got the hugest ego with like kind of okay food.
Yeah. The girl's like, I'm a chef. I'm watching you. And he was just rocked that whole time because of that. People are just threatened by powerful women or women that stick up for themselves. Speaking of, Rocky and Kate got into it at Watch What Happens Live for the 100th episode of Below Deck.
But how refreshing was that?
Oh, it was so good. I'm like, oh, there's Rocky. Oh, there she is.
Like, I'm glad they didn't miss a beat. However many years it's been. Like I was waiting for it. The two of them were sitting there playing
turned around really
niceties.
quick. I'm like, Kate, have you not learned anything from the word yachty? Like, you already got yourself in trouble for it on this season. Now you're at Watch What Happens Live calling people a yachty. She did not like that.
The only thing that I do find about Kate that, like, I don't want her to stop doing it, but I wish that she would have a better follow-up is she definitely threw in a small little dig at Rocky, and obviously she responded to it. But then after Rocky responds, you can't, like... Back down and I don't know why.
Pretend you didn't throw the grenade.
Yeah, like you threw the grenade, like leave your hand open with all of the marks and everything and roll with it.
She should have been like, look, you're not that good of a job. Like, come on, can we just all take a consensus here? Like, you're not good. But we love you and you're great. Yeah. Rocky was still going to come after her. I know. Rocky would have still came after her. It was really interesting to see all the boys. So, did you ever watch Below Deck season 1?
I think that's the only season I haven't seen. And I didn't know it until they started playing the clips. And I'm like, who are these people?
Well, I always keep it real, Hill. Everyone knows I'm a day one person. For Below Deck, I started watching season 2. But because I loved season 2 so much, I went back and watched season 1 right away. So I felt like I didn't really miss a beat. I wasn't one of those people that had to go back and like binge watch 1 through 5. Like I've been watching from the beginning.
I just feel like we're really going somewhere. Like the lean in, the tone of voice, I'm feeling like we're really...
There was a guy on there, a gay cast member named David, and he got engaged via screen, FaceTime, whatever.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, it was really interesting. But here's the thing. He was gay. Obviously, still is. He got engaged to a man. But I didn't think he was like that good looking. He was kind of Christian Bale, American Psycho. Like,
when did he turn
hot,
into
but
this?
kind of weird. But then he came back on Watch What Happens Live, and he is like a totally different person.
Right?
Googled him, found out he did gay porn. I have photos for you guys. Yes. So let's pull up the Watch What Happens Live photo of all the cast members backstage. This is everybody at Watch What Happens Live. Like Kelly's back, Josiah's back.
Okay.
Here's the guy we're talking about in the blue blazer, David. That's him right there. Nico behind him. We have that one doofus next to him that I don't remember his name. We have Eddie in the back. Do you remember Eddie?
He's the one that kept denying he was sleeping with
exactly. Which I totally thought he was like kind of cute until that season, and I'm like, you're trash, just
trash.
the rest of the rest of just like the rest of them.
Oh.
But all right, let's pull up the photo of
my
David
God.
all buff, the black and white photo, because this is what David looks like now.
Okay.
He's totally a thirst trap. Like
Right?
I can get down with this.
Fur and all.
Like the very first season, his face was like a little weird, kind of crazy. He still is kind of crazy looking, but I can get down
Sometimes
with
that
this
works
beef.
for you.
Yeah, this beef I can get down with. So then I started Googling him, and I found out on Twitter, thanks to Chadwick, that he does gay porn. So we have the photo of him, the next one. We're not going to show you his D, even though I could.
So I'm like, I didn't know any of this was happening, but I think I may have seen some of his work before.
But this is DudeTube, and this is him. And it says on there from Bravo TV to like gay porn. We're celebrating David. So
I'm almost certain I know what site this is
good
from.
for David.
So
David,
good for him.
we're huge fans. Huge fans.
Wow.
So yeah, Below Deck is really interesting.
Like,
I always tell people don't sleep on Below Deck.
I'm apparently, like, I'm glad I've been watching, but I guess I missed the most important season.
You gotta go below deck. You can't stay up on the bunny deck. You gotta actually
really
go below
dive
deck.
in there.
You gotta dive into the laundry room. All right, let's move on to Vanderpump Rules because it premiered last night, and they just came back to remind us that they're all horrible people, and that they're evolving into more horribleness. And they have all bought houses in the valley, and they all look alike. The only house that doesn't look like everybody else's is Kristen's. And Kristen's looks like a cute little cottage. It's really cute.
That's adorable.
But let's get into Vanderpump Rules, something that Keven does watch. Did you watch What Happens Live last night with Jax and Brittany?
So now, as I'm like listening to you say that, I'm feeling like a complete idiot because I didn't even know that the premiere happened. My DVR let me down. It completely let me down.
Wait, okay, so you're watching Vanderpump Rules, but you didn't watch the premiere last night.
No, this is the first time even hearing about it. So
you
now
need to
I'm
go
just
home and have
feeling
words.
really stupid. But I know the first thing I'm doing when I get home now. Yes.
Well, Vanderpump Rules premiered last night, and like I said, Jax and Brittany were on Watch What Happens Live, and they were talking about what we had seen on the show, which is basically Jax and Brittany reminding everybody that they're getting married and that the entire world revolves around them getting married. And if you didn't know, they're getting married, and if you don't drop everything, you're getting demoted. He devoted Tom Sandoval. Now Schwartz is the best man. And so it looks like he's going to be fighting with Tom the entire time. So you know how Jax is. He's very petty. So because he's fighting with Tom, when they brought up Ariana on Watch What Happens Live, he said something like, oh, well, they're not getting married. They're not having babies because Ariana likes women. To which she responded on Twitter, it's not that hard. I've talked about this for a long time. Clearly, I'm bisexual. Like, it's not that hard to figure out. And why is he always doing this?
It's completely. And she's also like made it very clear that she doesn't want everyone keep forcing her and digging into like her personal relationships and what she wants out of her romantic relationships and if she wants kids or not.
Such
Like,
trash.
to just leave it alone.
This isn't the first time that he's gone off on homophobic rants. Like it wasn't proven, but at the reunion, a couple reunions ago, they brought up the fact about how they were Jax made up like a fake Twitter or a fake Instagram with his cell phone number, and it was all gay jabs towards
What an idiot.
towards James. Like, James and Logan slept together. Like, it's always like gay jabs. Like, being gay is not like a bad thing. So stop jabbing at people because we all know you have some internal eternal homophobia.
Yeah.
And we are not here for it.
And also the part that I keep having to remind myself is that he is 40 years old.
He's so
like
old.
He's not some like young 20-something who's figuring it out, making some mistakes, living life and learning and stuff.
And bartending still.
He is a full-grown man.
All these
still
people.
behaving like a child.
Lala giving Carter advice on not to take money from your partner. Really,
Of all
Lala?
people,
Lala,
of all
really?
people.
The thing that she did crack me up, though, she was like, at least I'm running a household. I'm giving killer BJs. Same, girl. Same.
Honestly, do
Standing
you think
Lala.
that we're kind of like on the tail end of the Vanderpump Rules saga? Because I feel like
I felt that
at
way a couple
point
seasons ago,
that,
actually.
Like something either needs to end or change. Although I will say I would love to see Stassi and Bo as housewives at some point in the future. I could definitely watch that. But right now, I just don't know if Vanderpump Rules is what it used to be.
Well, they're all evolving, which is great. They all live in the Valley now. They don't live 5 minutes away from Sur. They all live in Valley Village, which is like 20 minutes or 15 minutes from the studio here. So let's have them come in. But I don't know. Like, I really am not about Jackson Brittany. I don't believe him. I don't believe he's reformed. I don't believe it's going to last. Sorry. With Ariana, I think that she's like the coolest one on the cast and keeps it real. I enjoy Lala
agree.
and stuff. You know, here's the thing about Vanderpump Rules is that they're all horrible, but in a really good way. Like, we all enjoy watching them. Like, I think Chrissy Teigen explained it the best. Like, James is like the worst in the best possible way. Like, she's such huge fans of them. You know, a lot of people feel the same way about Shaz, but they don't feel the same way in the way that Vanderpump Rules like has evolved into people's hearts and like won them over. Because Shaz is coming up, but Shaz, they like genuinely fuck each other over, I think. You know what I mean?
Well, aren't some of them kind of like family or something? I've only dabbled in the
They're
show a
like
little bit.
really, really close, but even like the closest one, like Reza and Mercedes, they're fighting right now and they're not back together and they're still not reconciled. And we're going to go into the season with them still being separated. So it's really interesting how Vanderpump Rules has really, really grown. Even as far as like business wise, people in Hollywood talk about Vanderpump Rules. Like, I have been at tables with huge people in the industry that rep huge actors, and instead of talking about like Julia Roberts and like, you know, Joaquin and the Joker, we're talking about Lala and Randall.
I mean, it's really great guilty television. Like, it's
really
a good
is.
guilty pleasure.
So I'm not sure if it's like it's coming to an end. I feel like their characters do need like a little step up.
Something needs to
You know,
change. You
I
know,
don't
because
know.
honestly, the
It
things
does need
that
a
made
shake
them
up.
so like endearing and fun to watch when they were younger 20-somethings who like had delusions of owning the world one day if they didn't already believe that they
Exactly.
did. Like, once you kind of start to get into a new phase of life, they're getting married, they're talking about kids. You don't want to see those same sort of immature issues.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the issues that they're doing now, I don't think I'm that entertained by. Like,
I was entertained by
picking and
Sheena.
pulling your bridal party is just really not like worth an hour of my
no.
evening.
But I am enjoying Sheena, being boy crazy, completely like giving guys gifts and them ghosting her. So great. She's like, I gave him an Apple Watch and he couldn't even text me back on it. Like, I'm
She's
dead.
necessary. I hope that we get more of her this season. I felt like
love
last
Sheena.
season she was kind of pushed to the background. But I
Sheena
live for
is
her
someone
delusion.
that LVP roasted like a barbecue for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills franchise for Brandy. And now, like, it was only fair to Lisa to make her a huge star on Vanderpump Rules. So I love Sheena. I stand Sheena. I'm here for Sheena. We have a picture of the opening shot of Vanderpump Rules, which is Jax and Brittany showing that they're very domestic. Jax showing that he's not a psycho, he's not crazy. He's sitting here mowing the lawn. How set up is this? Is this the most set up thing I've ever seen in my life?
I don't picture him actually doing this. Like, I don't believe it.
Someone on Twitter, I think
don't
it was
believe it.
Gibson, yeah, I think that's his name, from Bravo, he tweeted that this looks like the beginning of a horror movie. Doesn't it? And then I have Randy and Lala at the Golden Globes, because I'm telling you, they are making their way downtown and into Hollywood. And Randall's a huge producer, obviously. So this is them with Brad Pitt at the Golden Globes.
That's cool.
I want to talk a little bit about Real Housewives of Potomac. We have Keven here in the studio. He is brother of Monique Samuels from Real Housewives of Potomac.
Okay.
Let's get into it. If you have any questions for Keven, leave it in the comments below, and I will get back to you depending on whether he answered them here on the show or not. I will get to the bottom of it.
See.
But let's start. You know, obviously, Real Housewives of Potomac right now is not filming. You know, they're on a break. But we do know that there was an altercation between Monique and Candace.
Yeah.
And it was taken to court and dismissed by the judge. That's what everyone knows on Twitter.
Yeah, something like that.
Is there anything that we don't know that you can tell us?
I don't, you know, Bravo fans do a lot of investigative work. So there are a lot of details that might not be correct, but then there's a lot of details that could be. I obviously can't really clarify any of those, but there's just the one discrepancy of there weren't actual charges filed, just the way that things work. And don't quote me on this because some of it could be, you know, brushed over, but the way they do it in that county is that they basically just, if someone just walks into a courthouse and I say that you did something to me or whatever, then they file it and it shows up online and it reads the same way as everything was happening.
Okay.
So before it could even go to court, whatever, they review all this stuff and then it was dismissed.
Oh, so it didn't even get to like step one, basically?
Yeah, it was like all pre-steps. And then they look at everything and they're just like, okay, let's just send them on their way. So like, we're all very happy that all of that is put to bed. And, you know, we'll see how it all plays out. A lot of people are upset, whether you're on one side or the other side. It is pretty, is a pretty polarizing thing that's going on. But
was there physical contact between both of them?
I wasn't there, so I can't really tell you for sure.
Interesting. Well, we all know Candace is crazy.
Well, that, yes, that I'm pretty sure is a fact.
But Monique said, I will drag you, pregnant and all.
Also true. If you do a little freeze frame, if you've got some time and you catch Candace with that butter knife, you can really see just how close she got to Ashley's face.
Yeah.
Like very, very close. Like, I don't care if it's a butter knife and not a steak knife. That's still very alarming.
We all know a butter knife is a gateway knife. It then lead to machetes. Okay, well, any comment on the situation in general with Candace and your sister?
I don't know. It just really shows you that things happen when, you know, someone's constantly provoked. You know, you constantly get up in people's faces. You constantly badger them. You constantly just kind of try to get a rise out of people. Then eventually someone's going to get a rise. Like, they're going to give it to you. And I think that that's something that Candace has been doing. Even going back to the butter knife incident, you'll see in one of the after shows, she admits that after kicking Ashley out, she wanted Ashley to come back in just so they could like drop another bomb on her. So it's like, you know, these things are premeditated, and whether or not it looks clear at the moment, like, you know, someone who really wants to get you upset, they will take the time to figure out exactly how to get you upset.
Exactly. Do you know if your sister attended the finale party?
You know, I'm not really sure. I know that she requested to not be required to do certain things. Just, you know, as everyone's already seen that she wasn't on the cast trip or everything. So I really don't know how she ended the season. I've been taking an actor role of not keeping up to date. One thing I learned with reality TV is when you have someone close to you that's involved, you can get really, really upset very easily. And like, there's nothing you can do about it because you're not the person that's a part of it. So I've been trying to just take a step back and just wait for things to air out so that way I don't have to relive all of the frustration, you know, while it happens. And then again, when everyone else is watching it.
Which leads me to like, how does it feel to be, you know, I know you're not on a reality show, but you've been on the show before. We've seen clips with you talking with Monique. How does it feel? I mean, you've kind of already alluded that it really upsets you. Like, how does it feel to be in that position when people are going after your family and people are saying things that aren't true?
It's frustrating, as I said before. I think Monique handles everything really well, which kind of, you know, when I feel myself getting kind of upset and then I look at her and she's just kind of like rolling with the punches. So it's like, okay, maybe I should just cool down. But for a little while, I was kind of like letting out some of that frustration with my Instagram page, The Boss Squad, that I kind of retired a little bit. But with the things that's been going on, who knows, I might come back next season. But I've basically just been channeling it by showing up the inconsistencies with other people when I do get frustrated with some of the things that they have to say or how they're trying to portray someone or how they're spinning different stories. So Candace, it was a nice little way. Well, no, it's just kind of everyone.
But Candace is like the one that's really the problem on Real Housewives of Potomac. I'm not a fan.
It was like from season to season, it'd be different people that kind of
exactly.
needed the spotlight for a couple minutes.
Who is Monique close with right now that you can tell us, or if you know who she's speaking to, who she's close with?
As far as I know, her and Karen kept a really good relationship throughout the filming season, and Ashley was really supportive. I think after everything that they went through, their relationship, once they had their apologies and they were genuine, they really stuck to moving forward and, you know, hearing each other out. And with all the things that Ashley went through and Monique being there for her, I think Moni really appreciated Ashley kind of coming into her defense, whether or not she was present. And, you know, she kind of stepped in like, you know, that's not right or that's not true or something. So between the two of them, she's had some support, which is nice.
And have you met Michael Darby before?
Yeah.
Do you think he's a homosexual? Do you think he butt grabs? And do you think Juan is cute?
Those are a lot of loaded questions. Okay, so let's say I think that Michael and Ashley, I think that they have an agreement that they do what they do with their relationship, which is totally cool. It's a new day, new age. Juan Dixon is very attractive. You can't deny that, but that doesn't mean that he's a good person. That's, you know, where you kind of have to figure out where you lie on that, but you can't take away someone's looks.
Yeah. I think he has another girlfriend. One.
Probably.
I'm like, I just don't, there's something about that I'm not.
I don't know.
You know?
There's that scene in the closet when he said, if it wasn't for the kids, I'd be gone or whatever. Like that. It's kind of, I know we've kind of moved past that a few seasons after, but it really kind of sits with you. Like, ouch.
Interesting.
That's really, ow.
Well, Real Housewives of Potomac is going to be back, and we'll have Keven back. We'll have Monique in here. Now that Kevin's kind of broken the ice, we'll have Monique squeeze in here. So we'll be getting back into Potomac. It'll be coming back this year, hopefully. Let's get into Real Housewives of Atlanta. Nene and Kenya are fighting like crazy. And, you know, Nene's kind of on this apology tour. She's going around kind of making amends with everyone because she's on an island by herself, like Kenya said, and no one will play with her. So, you know, it looks like Yavanna is the snake, in my opinion. We haven't even heard this recording, so I'm kind of over it.
Yeah, can we at least hear that?
Can we hear it?
I hope that that's a part of this whole storyline. I need to hear it as well as confirmation who did it.
Well, it looks like Nene, from the clip that we see, she's trying to make up with Cynthia, but Yavanna and Portia get into it. So Portia's like, tell that hoe to get out. Tell that hoe to get out. So she gets out, and on the way out, she says, worry about your man doing animals. So Portia and her are not the business, and they're going to be fighting. And so she's out. While that's happening, Nene's already standing up telling Portia, like, she's just upset, calm down, like, please don't leave. I'm really trying to, like, just get this out. And while she's doing that, she looks at Cynthia and she says, Cynthia, like, can we please just talk? Like, hear what I have to say. Like, I really want to talk to you. And Cynthia's going, I don't want to listen to it right now. Maybe another night. Like, it's just too much. And in the middle of that, Kenya jumps in because, you know, she's the ride or die, even though she spoiled the proposal, even though she brought a marching band and she's crazy. I don't really know if Kenya's a good friend. She stood up and said, well, you had the floor, Nene. You had the chance. Prompting Nene to tell her to shut the F up at a very normal level. Just kind of like, Kenya, shut the F up, bitch.
It seemed like the tempers were like definitely high all around the room leading up to that moment though.
But Kenya came in with like a level 20 shut the F up, which made Nene come out, and then all hell broke loose. And then of course Bravo cut the clip.
They like cut it right at the exact moment that you knew things were about to get crazy.
We've been waiting for them to fight for like 3 episodes.
Right, and they definitely teased that fight like 3 episodes ago, making us think like, oh, it's coming up. Like, yeah, not yet.
Do you think Kenya's being a good friend?
No.
And the proposal, what is that about?
It's something really weird with their relationship that's always kind of just felt really strange.
She's a hater. And then I don't like what she's doing in the upcoming clips about her, like, talking about, oh, would your husband, if he's cheating, would you want to know? And then the cookie lady comes out, and she's trying to throw Tanya in there.
That feels messy.
I'm like, girl, worry about your own marriage.
That feels messy. Right.
Work on that.
Classic misdirection. Everyone look at the mess over here because we can't see that my man don't love me.
She is such a hater. I'm over Kenya.
Yikes.
We're running low on time.
She did come back with a huge bang.
Well, all I know is that Real House of Atlanta, they always fight in hotel rooms, so make sure to keep up with us. We're going to be talking about that fight next Sunday, but and then Sunday we're going to be doing the after show, but next Wednesday we'll be covering the after show, the fight, the clapback on Twitter. So, like stuff happens on Sunday with Real Housewives of Atlanta, but then the days of the aftermath, I'm collecting evidence on Twitter, data for you guys. So make sure to keep up with this every single Wednesday because we talk about everything. Let's move on to New Jersey because I teased that in the beginning and I'm not going to let you guys down. I do my hair yank, check my nails. Baby, how you feeling? I'm dragging you, Margaret. All right, here's the thing. Margaret and Danielle have been going at it forever, all season. Teresa's being delusional and defending Danielle for some crazy reason. But Margaret hasn't really been like an innocent angel here. She threw wine at her on vacation. Then this time they were really close.
Wow.
Danielle body checked her, which was like really a freaking thug move. Like, I don't know where you're from. I'm from Patterson.
While they're in this cute little boutique.
She body checked her wearing Versace.
Oh, I previewed some of that scene before I came over because I learned I'm stupid. I have not been watching New Jersey.
So good.
I've learned my lesson. I definitely have some catching up to do, but that scene was insane.
You haven't seen nothing yet. New Jersey fights are completely insane.
I didn't realize these women are so real and they do not mind getting dirty with each other's business. Like they're not putting
Look
on
at this
some
hair
little
yank. I mean, she is pulling her all the way to the ground. Danielle is evil. You don't understand. Like in the early seasons, like they've written books about her. She's been engaged 19 times. Oh, if I could flip this table, I would right now. Oh my God, you guys, it's getting so good. Tonight, Danielle Staub is going to be on Watch What Happens Live, explaining everything. It's going to be so good. I'm not covering because obviously it's going to happen in a couple hours, so I can't do it. But tonight, we're going to see what happens with the aftermath of the fight, and we are going to talk about it next episode. Keven just got into New Jersey. You need to get in there. It's been so good. I understand the name calling and like the fish reference. Like Margaret was really, really throwing it. Like you guys know my motto: don't start none, won't be none.
True.
So like, it's really weird that the dynamic has ended up like this, but it's not surprising. Like, they're poking at each other and then it got physical. On the way out though, Danielle kissed the owner and it was really, really creepy. And we have a photo of it just because, doesn't this photo gross you out? She was like, bye, baby. I'll be back to spread my legs for you so you can give me all these free clothes.
Oh, goodness.
She's crazy. All right. So I have the response from Margaret on Twitter talking about the fight. We have the tweets for you guys because I'm going to cover all sides of the story. So can we zoom in so I can read a little bit of Margaret's tweets for you guys if you're watching? Here are the tweets for you guys. If you're listening to us on iTunes, thank you. Give me a 5-star review, but here are the tweets. It says, Happy New Year. I just want to check in and say, with everyone anticipating tonight's episode, it's very painful for me to relive. The energy that day frightened me and still does to this day. I've never hit anyone, nor being punched or after being assaulted. Can you zoom in a tiny bit more? What I did do after a half hour of being brutally attacked back and forth with my personal space and invaded was to pour water on someone who was clearly looking to assault me and to push me into a physical altercation. I have been told I deserve it. I asked for it. I was attacked. But a full 12 minutes after the fact, she came from behind. My neck was snapped, easily could have been broken. That's the thing. Like, Danielle did attack from behind.
Yeah, that's
she
a
was
cheap
like,
shot.
I just can't help it, and came up from behind like a freaking psycho. Like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the full dynamics of everything that's been leading up to this, but I did see earlier in the scene, it seemed like Margaret and the girls were having quite a key talking about Danielle while she's also in the room.
5 feet away.
5 feet away. So it's kind of like, you can't be kind of throwing shade at someone and
hardcore,
like real middle school stuff and then be surprised when they lash out at you. Now, should she have came from behind? No, that's a little cheap. She should see you coming. But it sounds like everyone's got some wrong to share.
Margaret said that everyone in production was crying. So I put that on my Facebook page. I was like, Margaret said everyone in production was crying. And half the people were like, Danielle's crazy. And the other half were like, Why would they be crying? They've seen much worse. It's Real Houses of New Jersey. Hello, the communion. Hello, Rosie and Danielle. I mean, Rosie and Teresa. Teresa and Danielle. Like Teresa defending Danielle. Teresa and Danielle actually used to hate each other. And they basically started this war where Teresa flipped the table, became a huge star over it.
That was between the two of them.
Yes. And now Teresa's over here defending Danielle, which is like crazy. And I'm like, how can you defend that evil person? I know, I'm telling you.
Well, do they need each other? Is this like a strategic partnership?
I don't know. At first I thought it was.
Out of this?
At first I thought it was because she had just gotten out of camp jail.
Okay.
And she was like, oh, I'm doing yoga. And like Danielle and I did yoga. And we were all like, oh my God, how crazy. They were like once hating each other. But it faded very quickly, especially when Danielle was the same person and was still crazy and was like, oh, you need to defend me at every moment, that blah, blah, blah. And then Teresa's like, okay, like, yeah. Because Danielle's like, you don't understand what you've done to me. Like, you became famous, but I became like the most hated person ever. And like what that did to my kids.
Really?
So Teresa had to go and apologize.
Wow, I have a lot of homework to do.
They got close. But
So
Danielle
much to
is
catch up
still
on.
crazy and she's a pathological liar.
I don't know how people handle that, like when they're working on these shows. Like I feel like her and like a Kim Zolciak, like people that just like they'll constantly just spew out anything, and it's like, well, what is the truth? What isn't the truth?
Exactly.
Do you know what the truth is?
No, they don't.
I don't know how you navigate that.
Cop Without a Badge is the book that they wrote about her. Make sure to check it out. I'm all giving the author a little shout out. Read up on Danielle. She's a cray-cray, psychopath, sociopath. And Teresa, you know, she's not feeling it. Let's move on to news and gossip real quick.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Yes, Project Runway is back on Bravo, and guess what? It's actually getting my attention. There's all these queens on there. They're all stirring up a storm. Starting with Jeffrey Mack, who's like totally a hot daddy, who is totally like my kind of guy. If I was at the Eagle, I would go home with him. And he's actually like a pretty good designer too, like really making good clothes. And then there's this other guy who's delusional, who's like, oh, if I die, then the designs die with me. Like, Queen, you are not Alexander McQueen. So relax. And then there's this other one who basically they were giving him a really bad critique on his look. And he was like, the girl who was Carly Kloss, the host, she's a model. She's like, I couldn't see myself like wearing this anywhere. He was like, not even.
Oh, that one.
He's like, not even to the Kushners.
Bravo.
Which would be fine if he was going to own it. But at the end of the episode, when he got eliminated, he was like, I didn't mean it. There was no political agenda behind it. I'm not a jerk. I'm really professional.
That really bums me out.
I know.
I really
like,
thought that statement was like said with his full chest.
You got to own it, like Lisa Rinna says. But now he's selling t-shirts on his Instagram.
So which side is it?
I don't know. These messy queens. Make sure to check out Project Runway on Thursdays. I'm going to have Jeffrey Skype in. Or maybe I'll have to come see him in New York. I'm coming in March. Let's hang out. Let's go to the Cock. Have you been to New York?
I have.
Have you been to the Cock?
I haven't.
You haven't?
I haven't.
Oh, come on. It's like Disneyland.
I love LA. New York makes me feel like I'm trapped in a box.
We're all trapped in a big shoebox in New York and paying lots of money. Make sure to check out It's Bravo Bitch every single Wednesday. We'll be breaking down all the hottest Bravo shows. Make sure to tell your friends if they watch Bravo, they should be watching It's Bravo Bitch with Hollywood Leon. Kevin, where can we find you? What do you want to promote? Thank you for coming in.
If you want to follow me on @TheBossSquad, it's _@TheBossSquad on Instagram. I might be back next season. If I am, you won't want to miss it.
Thank you so much for coming in. I had such a good time.
Thank you.
You're gonna have to come back with your sister.
I'll drag her here. She needs to come to LA anyway.
I need her in here. I want to ask her questions. And are you excited to be like the fun gunkle and stuff?
Oh, I love it, especially since they're like such well-behaved kids.
Oh.
Like they ask for things, they tell you that they want personal space. Like they're my kind of kids. They're just like, I just want to be left alone right now. It's like, all right.
You get
I can
along with
respect
Chris?
that. Yeah, it took a little while since I don't really understand sports. And then we like started to find some common ground, and now like every now and then I'll like make a sports reference, and I feel really proud about it.
Well, good. There we go. Real Housewives of Potomac. Kevin in here. Make sure to follow me on all the things at Hollywood Leon on Instagram, at It's Bravo Bitch Podcast on Instagram. I'm here every single Wednesday. I love you guys. I'll be doing the after show for Atlanta on Sunday. I'm just spreading myself all over the town for 2020. Get ready. It's Bravo, bitch. Bye, AfterBuzzers.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.